Okay. Yeah. Okay. Who is the first time here? Second time? Third time? So, okay. Well, okay. This is Srimad-Bhagavatam class. Srila Prabhupada, our teacher, he wanted us to have a certain, to fill our day with certain activities which will be very favorable to make spiritual advancement. One of them is to wake up quite early. Mostly people go to bed at 2 o'clock or 3 o'clock. We wake up at 4 already or 3. So this is like the one thing we do, in temples at least. Second thing, Prabhupada wanted us to chant Hare Krishna. We have seen also after the program, Mangalartik at 4:30, we sing. Who is singing at 4:30 in the morning with very fresh enthusiasm? Of course, we don't stay up all night and, you know, intoxicated, and then we somehow, through the haze, we sing some song. We actually wake up in the morning, we take shower, and purify our body externally. We dress a clean cloth, and then we go to the temple to see the Lord, to see Krishna. And it is said that it is not only that we are seeing Krishna, but Krishna is also seeing us. So when you go in front of Krishna, you should know it's not that I am seeing what is there, but actually somebody is also looking at me. Meaning, what is my consciousness? What is in my mind? What is in my heart? So this is what we do also. Then we chant Hare Krishna to purify ourselves internally. And chanting Hare Krishna, there's so many different descriptions and explanations. The Hare Krishna mantra is very beneficial for the, it's actually the prime religious, you can say, and spiritual process for this time where we live right now. This is called Kali Yuga. You from India? Where are you from? Sri Lanka. So you heard probably some topics. So this is what we do. We chant Hare Krishna. We wake up, we chant Hare Krishna, then we do another singing, greeting the Lord, and then we have a class, Srimad-Bhagavatam class, because this is very important to hear about why are we doing what we're doing. Because it's just to do rituals, you know, empty rituals. There's so many even religious people. Even in India, I've met recently somebody, and this person told me that his whole life, his family was worshipping one particular deity. And then one day he asked the parents, why are you doing that? I said, we don't know, everybody does it. Everybody does it, and so we are doing it also. And there's this very humorous story that there was a wedding, and there was a black cat who was disturbing. Somebody was cooking there, and black cat was coming and wanted to, you know, eat from the pots or whatever, contaminating the pots and becoming really disturbance. The cat became big disturbance. So the person who was organizing the wedding, he said, you know, do something about this cat. So tie the cat to the tree. So everybody tied they tie the cat to the tree so the cat doesn't create disturbances. So the next year, they had also a wedding in the village, and somebody said, yeah, but last year we tied the cat to the tree. Maybe this year we should also tie a cat to the tree. So they tied the cat to the tree without knowing why did they tie the cat to the tree. So next year, and after 50 years or 100 years, the wedding meant you have to tie a cat to the tree because this is the tradition. So many times we do traditions, you know, we do something because it's tradition, but we don't know why and we don't know what. Like, for example, if you would ask people why they take the Tannenbaum, what is that Tannenbaum of English? Christmas tree. Why do we worship Christmas tree? You know? Well, it's a tradition, you know. We do the Christmas tree, we decorate the Christmas tree, we put the presents under, and it's a part of the tradition. But if you actually analyze the tradition, what is the actual tradition? Or we have a Weihnachtsmann, you know, and then later on these myths were destroyed by finding out the Weihnachtsmann was actually promoted by Coca-Cola and so on and so forth. So in order to understand why we're chanting Hare Krishna, to don't be a mere ritual, that we also come here, we bow down, you know, put incense, and this is very nice rituals they're doing. But behind these rituals, there's a philosophical also background. So therefore, every morning we have what is called Srimad-Bhagavatam class, and there's a described philosophy, one part of it, and and we read from this great book called Srimad-Bhagavatam, and there we find out what is the background of all why we're doing, and therefore makes more sense what are we doing. So today we are reading from Srimad-Bhagavatam also, and this will be for those who are first time, maybe something new, and for those who are, I will try to weave to fit to everybody, and because tomorrow is the great festival we have, and this festival is called Govardhan Puja. And this is, as many things in our Hare Krishna movement, it's a little bit unusual that we are worshipping and honoring a hill, a Govardhan hill. So, you know, we were already worshipping a plant here in the morning. We sing to the plant. Imagine people who come here first time, I don't know, your first time? Did you come in the morning? No. Anyway, so we worshiping a plant. So it was like, plant? You know, okay. But it's not an ordinary plant. It's actually tulasi. There's a background to it, and you can, you know, ask here. Stas will explain everything to you, or Subal Gopal. Where are you from? Kerala. Oh, Kerala. Oh, okay. Anyways, so we're worshiping Govardhan Hill, the hill itself, and this hill is a very special hill. It's not an ordinary hill. It's actually, this hill is a part of the original spiritual world, which came to this material world to actually give blessings to the people. And whoever went to India, particularly Mathura or Vrindavan, this is the area around 90 kilometers south of New Delhi, towards on the road to Agra. Agra is the place where there's what's the name of this? Taj Mahal. So just before Taj Mahal, there's a town or area called Vrindavan, Mathura. And there, whoever goes, this is a very great place of pilgrimage for India. And I actually wrote a small book about this. If you're interested, let me know about the places of pilgrimage, Vrindavan, Mathura, and Puri. And there are many pilgrims from India, particularly last 10, 15 years, and I heard particularly after COVID, over flooding now. I was there 3 years ago, and during this time called Kartik, there are thousands and thousands and thousands and thousands and thousands of people. And many of them circumambulate Govardhan Hill. Circumambulating means walking around this Govardhan Hill. And most of them do it barefoot. It's considered an honor or dishonor to walk in shoes in India. Everything, we take the shoes in front of the temple when we enter the temple. So we take shoes when you go walk around the Govardhan Hill. And Govardhan Hill is quite long. It's around 24 kilometers. So devotees are circumambulating, walking around for 24 kilometers. And while they're walking around, some of them are chanting, some of them are reciting prayers, some of them are struggling to walk so much barefoot. Usually people get blisters if they are not used to. But all of it, it's very, very blissful, because Govardhan Hill, around Govardhan, there are many temples, there are many small lakes or ponds. The people either bathe or they sit there. It's a very beautiful, actually, place, all in all. So this Govardhan Hill, I will narrate a little bit about the Govardhan Hill today, and tomorrow morning, Ananda Krishna will speak about Govardhan Hill, and tomorrow afternoon, I will speak again about Govardhan Hill. So we have this, you can say, a great celebration. So let's try to read Srimad-Bhagavatam. This is here Sanskrit. All the books, more important major books, are written in Sanskrit language, as they call it, you know, justly or unjustly dead language, but of course Sanskrit is not dead. Sanskrit is not official language, but there's a village in South India, I don't know exactly where, Karnataka maybe, where the whole village speaks Sanskrit. This was like, I saw this, it was like amazing. So these are the schoolgirls, they come and they say, how are you today? And they're all speaking Sanskrit. This is their language of communication. This is the unique in the whole of India. You probably Google it, you can find it. It's the village where people speak Sanskrit in India. But we read all these scriptures, the books in Sanskrit. And Srila Prabhupada, our teacher, advised us to also read and try to repeat. In that way we'll learn some Sanskrit, although we may not be Sanskrit scholars, but we'll learn a little bit. And we know devotees who are a little longer in the movement, some words are just catching up. You hear them over and over again, and then you suddenly, oh, I know what it means. I know what this means. And you have some idea at least what you're reading, which is good because it's always good to read the original work, so we know, we get a full benefit of this. So let's now read this verse, 10, 24, 35. Before we read the Sanskrit, before we read the Srimad-Bhagavatam, we offer our obeisances to Krishna and to Vyasadeva, on the people who actually wrote this and brought this Srimad-Bhagavatam to our midst. So we fold our hands, and I will say, and then you repeat after me. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. So I will recite some Sanskrit verses. You don't need to repeat if you know, yes. Narayanam namaskrityam naram chaivam narotamam devim saraswatim vyasam tato jaya mudirayet nashta prayesha badreshu nitya bhagavata sevaya bhagavati uttama shloke bhaktir bhavati nashtiki. These are some auspicious mantras, recitation, to glorify the author, to glorify the great sages, and to remind us that by daily Nitya Bhagavata Sevaya, by daily reciting Srimad-Bhagavatam, almost everything inauspicious in our hearts will be destroyed. So just by hearing Srimad-Bhagavatam, by sitting and listening attentively or half attentively, but listening, and somehow or other this message will penetrate our heart even without our will, and will somehow purify, and we will feel good about it. Many times, we give lecture. I gave so many lectures in the past whatever years, and you cannot remember everything. Once I remember I was giving this one, I was in Bulgaria, and I gave this lecture, and the next week I gave another lecture in the same place, and they asked me to come again, and I went there, and they said, that was a really good lecture you gave last week. I said, oh really? I said, yes. And I said, can you repeat what was the lecture about? Nobody could repeat, But there was a feeling that the lecture was good. So the feeling means that there's some warmth in the heart and some which is inauspicious in the heart, which was annihilated. So we try to remember at least one thing. I will mention many things today, but you try to remember at least one thing that you can take home, and think about it at least while eating breakfast. Wow, this was an interesting topic. So, Krishna's Tvanyatamam Rupam. Krishna's Tvanyatamam Rupam. Gopa Vishrambanam Gataha. Gopa Vishrambanam Gataha. Shailosmiti Bruvan Bhuri. Shailosmiti Bruvan Bhuri. Balim Adat Brihad Vapuhu. Balim Adat Brihad Vapuhu. Krishna Stvanya Rupam Gopam Vishrambhanam Gataha Shailosmiti Bhuvan Bhuri Balim Adat Brihad Vapuhu. So if somebody like to try. Krishna Stvanya Tamam Rupam Gopa Vishrambanam Gataha Shailasmiti Bhruvan Bhuri Balim Adat Brihad Vapuhu. No human. Krishna Stvanya Tamam Rupam Gopa Vishrambanam Gataha Shailasmiti Bhruvan Bhuri Balim Adat Brihad Vapuhu. Ladies, any? Krishna Stvanya Tamam Rupam Gopa Vishrambanam Gataha Shailosmiti Bhruvan Bhuri Balim Adat Brihad Vapuhu. Now we go word for word and see what is the meaning of each word. Krishna, Lord Krishna, to and then. Anyatamam, another. Rupam, transcendental form. Gopa Vishrambhanam, for generating the faith of the cowherds. Gataha, assumed. Shaila, the mountain. Asmi, I am. Thank you. Iti, these words. Bhuruvan, saying. Bhuri, abundant. Balim, the offerings. Adat, he devoured. Brihatvapu, in his huge form. Translation. Krishna then assumed an unprecedented, huge form to instill faith in the cowherd man, declaring, I am Govardhan mountain. He ate the abundant offerings. So one more time. Krishna, I'll translate in a little more easier language. Krishna assumed the transcendental big form to instill the faith in the cowherd man. And he said, I am the Govardhan mountain. And then he ate this big offering. Offering means people cooked for him, and so he ate all of it. So this is the verse. So now we'll explain why, who is Krishna, why did he assume this big form, why did he have to instill the faith in this cowherd man, and why he said, I'm the Govardhan mountain, and what did he eat? So this is the story of the day. So the story begins, this is the 24th chapter of the Srimad-Bhagavatam. The story begins very innocently. You know, sometimes the life brings so many unexpected things and everything becomes so innocently. You think, oh, everything is nice, and suddenly, the yellow envelope arrives and you have to go to the court and you think, oh my God, what have I done? Why is this bad thing happening to good people? Me, I'm a good person. We all think like this. So it started also innocently. Innocently, one day, Krishna, in the village of Vrindavan, the wonderful village of Vrindavan, again, to repeat, this is like around 90 kilometers south of New Delhi, in the direction Agra. There's a small village. There was a small village. This village is grown now to become a big city with the skyscrapers. But in Krishna's time, this was just a village. And Krishna lived a cowherd community. He was a part of the cowherd. So they were tending the cows. living very simple, idyllic life, eating simple food, what is grown, no whatever packaged food and no special this and that imported from Morocco. Everything was simple, and whatever they had, and their main wealth was considered cows and milk products. This was the wealth. In the Vedic times, the wealth is considered to have cows, because by having cows, you can have a sufficient milk, and then from milk you make a yogurt, and from yogurt you make butter. We just had recently series of lectures of Yashoda, who was churning the butter, and Krishna, who ate the butter. And Krishna in India is known as Makhan Chor. Makhan means butter, and Chor means one who steals. So Krishna is also, this is another paradox, that God is actually engaged in illegal activities, taking butter, and therefore he's called Makhan Chor. Of course, Krishna is a transcendental personality, and therefore whatever he does is transcendental, and he's celebrated as such. We also have in Gujarat, we have another form of Krishna, and with Chor, anybody knows? Gujarat, any Gujaratis? Ranchor. Ranchor Krishna is the Krishna who ran away in so-called fear from Yavana, King Kulayavana, what is his name? Kalayavana. He was running away. So therefore, although it's considered, you can say, cowardly act, Krishna's doing this is considered glorious, because Krishna had the plan which is described in the Srimad-Bhagavatam after this. So Krishna is celebrated as Ranchor. So here Krishna is celebrated as Makhanchor. So here in our story, Krishna is celebrated as Govardhan Dhari or Giri Dhari, the one who holds the Govardhan hill. Tomorrow we'll see this glorious, amazing, most wonderful activity, how Krishna lifted the Govardhan hill. So how this started? Everything started very innocently. The Gopals, the cowherd men and women, they were preparing to celebrate the Indra Yajna. Indra Yajna means sacrifice to please demigods, Indra, because at that time, everything depended on the rain, on the wind, on the sun. So if these elements are not functioning properly or on time, then your life is ruined, basically. If you want to grow crops, if you want to have cows to eat something, they have to have a grass, they have to have rain, and so on and so forth. So rain was very important, so they worshipped demigod Indra. Of course, they said Krishna, Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur, one of the acharyas, our teachers, said very interestingly that Krishna is known as Sarva Darshan. Sarva Darshan means one who knows, who sees everything. Darshan means seeing, and Sarva means everything. So one who sees everything, he could see also the future. He sees the past, he can see the present, but he can also see the future. So because he wanted to perform this pastime, and he wanted to defeat the pride of this demigod Indra, he saw there's some pride in there. So he used this whole situation to do many things at the same time. Defeats the pride, please the devotees, become a Govardhan hill, and enact the beautiful ceremony which we'll celebrate tomorrow. And we'll celebrate exactly as Krishna ordered here in Srimad-Bhagavatam. We'll see later on. How did he tell us to celebrate Govardhan hill? So Krishna asked, the preparation was going on to worship the demigod Indra. And so Krishna asked, my dear father, please let me know. He was 7 years old, by the way, Krishna. My dear father, let me know, what is this? What are you doing this? What is this? What is doing this? What is the result of this? What are you doing? And for whom it is meant? Please explain all this to me. And how is it performed? So his father is saying, well, you're a small child. Imagine your child tells you something, mother, and ask you about your work or something. You said, okay, my dear child, you're too young to understand this. So this is what his father told me. You're too young to understand. No, explain to me. So Nanda Maharaj explained This is because Krishna is, Indra is the representative of rain. So each demigod in the Vedic scripture, Vedic Shastras, each demigod or devata is in charge of a certain department. You know, the universe is not running haphazardly. You know the word haphazardly? Accidentally, zufällig. Somehow zufällig it rains, zufällig it suns. It doesn't work that way. Nothing in this world works without any order. You know, if you go to I don't know, you want to create anything, or you want to do anything, you want to write something, or you want to do the management, it doesn't do it by itself. Oh, it will happen. You know. It never happens. Things are happening because there's somebody behind it. So in the same way, it is described that demigods are the universal administrators. So they're demigod for rain, demigod for wind, vayu, demigod for mind, demigod for anger. So there are different kinds of devatas, and they're all in charge and deal with different things. So demigod Indra is in charge of the rain. So they said, therefore, rain is very important to us, and if we do these ceremonies, we please him, and therefore he will send sufficient rain, so that will help us to, you know, live, to you know, water our crops and so on and so forth. So Krishna said, well, this is very nice, but I don't think this is the proper way to do it. And then, you know, there's a verse in the Bhagavad Gita, 3:12. Ishtam bogan hovi deva dasyanta yagya bhavita tar dattan apradayibhyo yo bhunkte stena evasa. He said, in charge of the various necessities of life are the demigods. And when they are satisfied with the sacrifice, they will supply necessities to you. But he who enjoys such gifts without offering them to the demigods certainly is a thief. So meaning we all, according to the Vedas, we all obliged to what we have. You know, in the West, we don't care. You know, we just take it for granted. You know, I saw this recently, one article somebody wrote, I forgot his name, he's a German guy. Why am I anarchist? He said, I don't care about anything. I don't need anything. I was thinking, well, you do. You know, without, you know, he said he went to Himalaya mountains, he was hiking. I was thinking, well, without the industry of who create the clothes, you will not be able to go to Himalayas. You cannot go barefoot to Himalayas. The cars, the airplanes, you cannot walk to the Himalayas from Germany. So your anarchies make no sense. And also, you know, anyways, it's a long story. I don't want to know against anarchism, but the point is that we are obliged to so many things. We are obliged to somebody who supply air. We are obliged to these bodies. Actually, if we don't have these bodies, if our parents didn't create us, we would not exist. We would not exist. As once Srila Prabhupada told this to Harisori Prabhu. Harisori Prabhu told Prabhupada, Harisori was the servant of Srila Prabhupada, Western. He was from England and Australia. And he told him that when his mother got pregnant, his grandmother told his mother, just abort the child. And he would say, if she aborted me, I would not exist. And I would not meet you. So meaning that we depend on other people very much. We depend on our body. Without our body, we eat. If our body is not functioning properly, we cannot exist properly. If there's no rain, if there's no sun. And therefore, in the Vedas, it is said that one should do a very interesting thing called Pancha Mahayagya. Anybody knows the Pancha Mahayagya? Pune? No, you don't do Pancha Mahayagya in your household? Pancha Mahayagya, actually, look, this is a very common thing. At least it was common before. Daily, every householder should do these 5 sacrifices. One is the sacrifice to the Brahma Yagya, studying the scriptures, offer obeisance to the rishis, study Ramayana, Mahabharata, Bhagavad Gita, Puranas. This is every household. This was the duty of every household. Number 2, one should do Deva Yagya, the worshiping of the demigods, Mother Earth, rain, sun, fire, river. You know, rivers are very important to wash their clothes. How would you do without river? Ponds, moon, It says the moon in the Bhagavad Gita, the moon is actually helping the vegetables grow. So all these things we have to honor and respect. Then, Pitri Yagya, ancestors, because without ancestors we would not exist. We may not like our parents or or grandparents, but they actually gave us this life. Actually, interesting enough, they did. Because how many situations like this Hari Sori Prabhu, or somebody has a difficult, my grandfather was in Second World War and he was almost killed, and somehow, by miracle, it's an amazing story, miracle he escaped, and somehow, therefore I am here. So I owe him, in a sense, my existence. So this is this. Pitra Yagya. Then Bhuta Yagya. Bhuta means living entities. So we also have to honor, or we can say respect, all living entities. Because imagine if there's this movies, Alone in the Earth, Alone in the World, and he's walking around and supermarket and he's going and buying for himself forever alone, and he's eating alone and walking around alone, puffed up. But alone, we become depressed and you're nobody to speak to. This is number one. Interacting with other people. Also, interacting with, also helping the other, like cows. Without cows, we will not have milk. And we apparently, people don't even know nowadays where the food comes from. That was recently, even more recently, the children, they've examined, do you know where's this coming from? Do you know where's milk coming from? Nobody knows. Supermarket, yes. You just go and buy. They don't know that there's a slaughterhouse full of blood and killing the food. How many millions of pigs, like something like 100 million, like 300, like huge amounts every year. Huge amounts of animals killed in these most brutal ways. And then they slice it and package it and put nice colorful pig, and you say, oh, this is nice. Kids, they don't know where the food comes from. So we have to appreciate also, these things, where the grain comes from, where the bacteria comes from to make yogurt. To make yogurt, you need bacteria. So this bacteria is also bhutas. So we have to appreciate every living entity. Then we have to appreciate Manusha Yagya. Manusha Yagya means respecting human beings, particularly for householder. It is recommended, this is in this Yagya, is that one should serve the guests, particularly uninvited guests. This is the most tricky, most difficult situation. Nowadays, people don't even answer the phone. When you ring, you have to send a WhatsApp message or Telegram message like a day in advance. Is it okay if I come today at 4 o'clock? And then you have to wait for the merciful response. And then you can come. Otherwise, if you just come in and without uninvited, this is like a huge offense. What to speak, if you call somebody, at least in Germany, my experience, if you call somebody on the phone, calling on the phone, nobody answers. How dare you calling me on the phone? Unannounced. So what to speak if somebody comes to your door and said, I'm very hungry. Oh, yes, but, I saw this I shouldn't say it. So uninvited guests, very important. Because it said, according to the Shastra, guest is as good as Narayan, as good as God. So especially uninvited guests, that's showing your real, what is your heart at. So these yagyas should be performed on a daily basis to develop the qualities like kindness, compassion, to don't have a hatred so much, because then you will understand, you will appreciate others. They said there's a cold and egoistic heart will melt. As I said, the grihastas, the householders in the Vedic society, before they eat, they cook. And before they eat, they open the door and they shout on the street, is anybody hungry? Is anybody hungry? Is anybody hungry? And if they hear 1, 2, 3, then they start eating. So if somebody is hungry, they have to feed them. So this is the wonderful thing, actually. Imagine the society like this. It's a wonderful society. There's no envy or no like, I have this, and, this is. Then, this gives also broader perspective in life. Broader perspective, meaning, okay, this is all actually Krishna. This is all Krishna's living entities. Srila Prabhupada says when his father had a shop, cloth shop. Every evening before he would leave the shop, he would close the shop, and he would leave a little bowl of rice. And Prabhupada asked him, why, a small boy, Prabhupada asked him, why are you doing this? And he said, because for the mice. He wants to feed the mice. And he said the householder, in the Srimad-Bhagavatam, it is described, the householder consider all the living entities in the house as their own children. Day before yesterday, I was doing the arati here to Prabhupada, and I saw a big spider climbing up here. I was thinking, he's a part of the temple, because this is what's written in Srimad-Bhagavatam. The spiders, the insects, the snakes even, they're part of the household. Of course, we don't have snakes here. We don't have also some spiders, yes. But in India, at that time, people are making houses out of straw. So in the straw, all kinds of things are happening. Snakes also sometimes take shelter. Cats. Actually, this is very important for today, for the cats. But I will speak about this later. Anyway, so this is important also to learn how to serve others. The point of a Grihastha ashram, the Grihastha means family life. There are four ashrams or 4 stages of human, you can say, communities. First is the brahmachari, the devotees who wear saffron. They are the students. They're not married, they're studying under the spiritual master, and their main thing is to do austerities and to study the Shastras and to serve the Guru. This is the main duty of a brahmachari. No other duties. Imagine, such a beautiful life, actually. Nothing else to do. No obligation. You just chant Hare Krishna, read the scriptures, and try to serve Guru. Guru means also, authority, temple authorities or whatever. So it's easy life. Then people who cannot do this, or they decided to change, to enter the next ashram or next group of people, there's a family, married life. So majority of people, in general, majority of people are married in this world. Very few brahmacharis, and majority of people are grihastas. And for this, if they do this, these grihastas, family people, will open their heart and have a better understanding about the people. There will be not much envy, not much greed, not much lust. Lust, envy, greed, madness, illusion. Because by practicing this, offering this mantra, offering these yagyas and practicing this, they will have a clearer understanding. The purpose, Prabhupada said, of Grihastha ashram, of the family life, is to learn how to give. So the main duty of a Grihastha ashram is to actually give in charity. The main. And either prasadam, or food, or donation, or cloth, or in India, many times when we had a program in India, they give you cloth, isn't it? They give you a dhoti, or they give you some cloth. This is considered an offering. So to give, not to hoard for ourselves, now it's mine. And don't give to anybody. I just have to say it one more time. I was where were we? In Hamburg, and I was distributing books. And this couple, middle age, maybe late 30s, mid 30s, late 30s, German couple. And then the lady liked the book. She said, I like to take a book. And she said, how much should I give? I said, well, we don't have a clear price, just give whatever, to cover the printing costs, people usually give 5 to 10, whatever you like. So she opened the wallet, and there was many bills, some 20s, 50s. And so she was looking, and she looked at the other compartment, which was for the change, empty. She was with a finger trying to find out the change. There was no change. So she was like, oh my God, it's becoming a little bit sweating, And she said, then she was looking, and the smallest was 5, So she took the 5 and looked at her husband, and he was like in terror. He said, you're sure you don't have any change? And she said, no, I don't. And she looked at it again, no change. And I wanted to cut this tension. And I said, no problem, 5 is also okay. You don't need to, it's all right. You know. Just to like, and she said, okay. And she gave like this high 5 and looking at him. And with such a great difficulty, you know. And I was thinking, that's why Vedic culture is very important. To learn for people to, it's okay to give, you know. You're not going to die if you give to a actually person who will use this in some kind of spiritual practice. There's no harm. You know. So Grihastha ashram is meant to learn how to give. So much so that at the end of Grihastha life, when people decide after they're 50, 60, okay, now is the time to enter more, they just give up everything. Okay, now I'm giving up everything. And Grihasthas or family people, they enter the forest. They go to the forest, and this is called Vanaprastha, the forest. And therefore, they give up everything. They, you know, nothing more to keep for yourself. It is said they should dress in a tree bark and just live in the forest, eat the berries in the forest, roots, drink water. You know, as you said, their bed should be the soft grass, and their pillow should be their hand, and their covering should be the sky. You know. And this is how they should live. Because the reason is, although they tried a little bit as they were married, family life, to learn how to give, also the children are meant to actually also learn how to give unreservedly. You give to kids, although you don't get much back. You know, nights of kids crying and they want something, and you have to do for them, but they don't actually give you anything in return except the joy that you see the child is speaking, you know, and you feel like, oh, my child is wonderful. And then they grow up and they, you know, first this and first time walking, and who was speaking, Ramananda, how the child walks first time and you are so proud. Oh, my child is walking. But this is like a no return love. You know? So this is also Grihasthas, they learn how to give. And in the end, everything, children are grown up, the grandkids are there. So it's time to give up everything. And everything means my possession, manasa, deho, geho, yo kichumur, arpiluntu vapada nanda kishore. Bhaktivinoda Thakur sings, manasa, my mind, my body, all my possessions, I all give it to you. So they enter the forest because the physical change helps. Like that's why we have temples. The people who want to learn how to become devotees, they come and, as we call it, move in the temple. Did he move in? Yes. Because when they move in, that means that they have to live according to this reality. You know, they want to be brahmacharis, they have to shave their head. You know, some people have very nice hair, and they shave their head. This is the act of giving. I'm giving my hair for Krishna. And then they learn how to overrun obeisances. They learn how to whatever, how to go to the bath, how to take shower after going to the bathroom, how to eat with the right hand, not with the left hand, and so on, and so many things. How to chant, how to read. We're learning verses, Sanskrit verses. Learning Sanskrit verses, Bhaktastas. Diligently. So all these things are very helpful. And therefore, when we become devotees of Krishna, we are not obliged to any demigods, actually, anymore. We are not obliged to anybody. Sorry, just to conclude. All those things, we are obliged to so many things, so many people, so many personalities. And Bhagavad Gita says, if you do not recognize this, if you enjoy these gifts without respecting or offering sacrifice back to the demigods, it is called a thief. Stena eva, it's a thief. And so, you know, we get, as we know from, you know, we get karma for this. So therefore, those who come back to this, those who become devotees, who have given up all material duties and taken shelter fully in lotus feet of Mukunda or Krishna, is not indebted to the demigods, to the great sages, to the Bhutas, to the relatives, to the friends, to anybody. Because they understand Krishna is actually, everything comes from Krishna. We go directly to the source. It is considered like we are watering the root of a tree instead of polishing the leaves or watering the leaves. So this is the example or analogy given in Srimad-Bhagavatam. We are watering the root. Therefore, it is very important to surrender to Krishna. So we come back to the story. Krishna says to his father, oh, you don't need to worship the demigods. His father wanted to worship the demigods and said, you don't need to worship Indra. And so his father was like, really? What are we supposed to do? And he said, just worship Govardhan Hill. Because Govardhan Hill is actually giving us everything what we need. Govardhan Hill is giving us grasses. Govardhan Hill giving us caves. We can take shelter. Govardhan Hill is giving us streams of water. We can drink pure water. And Govardhan Hill is giving us trees. And Govardhan Hill is giving us minerals. Because we know nowadays where do the colors coming from? We have all these colors. Kids are painting. Where's the colors coming from? I don't know. There's some pigments. I know you can buy a pigment and make a color. But where the pigments come from? Pigments come from the mountain Govardhan. The crystals, everything comes from Govardhan. So for the Vrijbasis in Vrindavan, Govardhan Hill supplies everything. So why should we worship demigod when we have everything what we need here? Then Krishna spoke interesting philosophy. This is the purposeful. Sometimes Krishna, as we call it, devil's advocate. Sometimes we have a mock arguments. I don't believe that God exists. I was once, remember, many years ago, I was in Nepal, in Kathmandu, and I was giving a lecture. There was ISKCON temple, and I was giving a lecture, and then I said something, I don't remember what, and Mahavishnu Swami was there, this famous Mahavishnu Swami with a hat, yes. And he said, you Hare Krishnas, you're theist, and I don't believe in God. Something like this, there was a mock fight, so I was arguing with him and so on and so forth. That was very nice. But sometimes we do mock fights. So this is what Krishna did. He did this mock fight. And he spoke this philosophy called Karma Mimamsa philosophy. And in this Karma Mimamsa philosophy is very interesting, meaning that this philosophy does not accept the supreme authority of anybody. They see this universe as mechanical. And nowadays you have so many Karma Mimamsa philosophers in the form of? Wissenschaftler und self-help. You can do it yourself. You don't need anybody else. Just set your mind to it and you'll be successful. Because they see this material world as mechanical, and therefore by doing properly, use it this machine properly, that you'll be successful. This is how they see it. So you don't need anybody. You can just do it yourself. Set your mind to it. Do this and do that. And therefore, now they even think, I read recently, that if you do properly your body, if you, eat properly, if you do whatever regular exercises and, eat particular nutrition properly, you will actually never die. You'll live forever. This is the theory. Because this is how a mechanical universe works. The body is like a machine, and if you put a certain thing in the body, it will act in a certain way. They want to do reverse, that's called cryonics, reverse aging. There's this, for example, a sportsman, like a bicycle riders, Tour de France. Before Tour de France, the main contenders, they measure everything what they eat. They measure 224 grams of this, because according to their body, they just completely look at the body as a machine. How much to cycle 6 hours, 42 minutes, it will take this much food, this much this. Everything is just, So this is a Karma Mimamsa philosophy. So Krishna says, why do we need somebody else, blessings of somebody else? If we act properly, then we'll be successful. We don't need to worship demigod Indra. We should just do our own duties. And what is the wrong with this philosophy is that we cannot never predict. How many people said, I want to, they follow whatever this self-help people, and they're never successful. Because success depends on our previous activities, karma, and depends ultimately on the blessings of God. You may be huge, whatever, you want to be a big basketball star, and then you jump and you damage your knee, and then you cannot jump anymore. So all your endeavor was for what? Nothing. Because there was no, as we say in the devotee world, it was not your karma to be successful. So therefore, devotees accept that there's a karma. Karma means this body what I have, this is called prarabdha karma, this is what is allotted to me. Ishavasyam idam sarvam yat kincha jagatyam jagat tiena tyaktena bunjita madgridya tasya sviddanam. The first verse of the Ishopanishad, it says that everything we have is allotted to us, by our karma. So this is what comes, and this is what we have to accept and live with it. Many people do not agree it or do not like it, but this is what you have. And just accept it and do the best with what you have. Prabhupada says, do the best out of your bargain. Sometimes people say, I have this situation and, many special situations. What should I, just whatever situation you are, just apply it and apply Krishna consciousness on it. That's it. You may have one idea or another idea or one body, or some people can do certain things, some people cannot do certain things. Whatever it is, just accept it. This is what is allotted to me, and I will use the best to my ability. And this is Krishna consciousness. The Krishna consciousness is not to become the best. Krishna consciousness is about to become, you use it yourself to become the best in this what you do. There's a story in Ramayana where Lord Ram was supposed to build or construct a bridge over to Lanka. And this was the end of South India to Lanka. She's from Sri Lanka. So bridge is there. Ram wanted to build a big bridge because there was a long story. I don't want to get into it. So all these soldiers of Ram, monkeys and bears, they were bringing big rocks. Hanuman would bring such a mountain. He actually wanted to bring Govardhan. This was described. Hanuman wanted to bring Govardhan hill to put it in the bridge. But then the message was, the bridge is built. There's no more need for the stones. So Hanuman was like, what should I do now? And Govardhan said, wow, I'm so unfortunate. I wanted to be in Ram's bridge, but somehow the Ram can step with his lotus feet of me. But now what should I do? And Hanuman said, don't worry, I'll bless you. So the next time when Krishna incarnates, you'll be, go as the Govardhan hill. Krishna can step on you. This is the little history of Govardhan. So, when they were building a bridge, many were bringing big rocks, big stones. And then there was a little squirrel, also devotee of Ram. And the squirrel said, I also want to help. So how much can squirrel carry? A little rock. Squirrel was bringing little rocks. And so Hanuman was laughing. Look at this squirrel. I can bring this huge mountain. The squirrel is bringing a little rock. And Ram said, don't be so, how do you say, unreasonable. This squirrel is doing its best. So therefore, each can do their best. So this is the formula for spiritual life. Each can do whatever they can do the best. So this is the karma mimamsa. So what happened then? Krishna somehow convinced them that you should worship Govardhan Hill, which is a very interesting point. Why would young child convince this whole village to actually change such a big deal? Imagine you have a child and you work, both of you, you're making 7,000 euros a month, and your child comes and he said, I don't think you should work, I think you should surrender to Krishna and go and live in the temple. And your parents said, okay, We'll give up our house and our car and everything. This is very difficult, you know. So, but this is exactly what they did. The family of Vrindavan, parents of Krishna and the whole village decided, we will do what Krishna says. We'll worship Govardhan hill and not worship Indra. And the reason is because Krishna is the center of everything in Vrindavan. Without Krishna, there is no Vrindavan. So Brajbasis are so much laden with love for Krishna that they will do anything for Krishna. Anything. And we also, in our own small way, when we come to Krishna slowly, we give up things for Krishna which we would never give before. You know, in the beginning, we give this we follow 4 regulative principles. We give up, you know, smoking cigarettes, you know, or taking drugs, taking intoxication. We don't drink green tea. We don't drink black tea because there's intoxication. And we don't drink coffee. Whoa. So these things we give up for Krishna because we understand for something lower, I'll take something higher. There's a verse in the Bhagavad Gita. Vishaya vinivartate niraharasya dehinam rasavarja rasapyasya param drishtva nivartate. I give up the lower taste so that I can have the higher taste. So therefore we give up something for Krishna. And it's not like now we give it up and we are forever sorry about this. But actually we get higher taste, rasa, higher rasa. We get more happiness or more satisfaction. You know, than eating meat. You know, we don't, you know, I gave up eating meat 5 years ago, and I'm never think like, oh my God, this dinner smells so great, you know. Just the opposite. When we go, we think, man, how can people put that in their mouth? I cannot, like, it's amazing. Because we know samosa is waiting for me. Pakora is waiting for me. You know, why would I eat this? There's a Krishna pakoras, you know, whatever we eat tonight is wonderful prasadam. Especially tomorrow. There'll be so many different preps. Over 300 I've heard. No, I'm just yeah. Anyways, so Nanda Maharaj, Krishna convinced them all. Because Krishna is also considered, this is a very interesting, Krishna demands these things from us because he wants to actually good for us. This is also interesting. This is like a child, Prabhupada gives example, like a child wants to eat something and you said, this is not good for you. And child said, no, it's good for me. And we said, no, it's very not good for you. Like for example, Prabhupada gives example of going to school. Kids will never go to school. Which child would like to go to school? They play. But then when you're now age of whatever, now 5, even 6, you have to go to school and you think, oh no, I have to go to school. I remember when I was like 6, 7 years old and I come back and you have this housework. Think like, why do I need to do this? You have to, because you thought, I'm done with school, but no, I have to, even after, I have to think about the school. So in this way, because otherwise we'll become dull, So like this, we get education and we can go through life much better. So Krishna, or you can say parents like Krishna, for our own good, put us to certain restrictions and inspire us to do certain things for our own good. Okay, then Krishna said, okay, this out of the way, let the worship begin. Let the worship of Govardhan hill begin. So Krishna gives here example what to do on Govardhan puja. He said, let many different kinds of food be cooked. From sweet rice to vegetable soups. So we know there's a very nice song by Bhaktivinoda Thakur called Bhog Arati. There's a list of all wonderful food that Krishna eats every day. Laddu, all kinds of things. Sweet rice, boiled milk, and then this soup and this sabji and that sabji, and bitter and sweet and sour, everything. Krishna eats all kinds of wonderful foods. Then Krishna says, many kinds of fancy cakes, both baked and fried. apparently fried cakes. Actually, there's a fried cake in Puri. I forgot the name of this cake. It's the fried cake. It's a very good cake. You know, they sell like this round, like this little brown, very nice. Right? Huh? It's kind of like a Pfannkuchen, but it's very thick. It's so this kind of cake, all kinds of cakes. All available milk products should be taken for this sacrifice. So all the milk products, yogurt, ghee, butter. Then paka. Paka refers, Prabhupada or Acharya said, to rice and vegetables which are cooked. Interesting enough, Srila Prabhupada says in our Krishna book that raw, like we eat raw food, sometimes raw food is, it is in Vedic kitchen, raw food means this which is not deep fried. So everything outside of deep fried is considered raw. Hare Krishna. So then soups, we said, cool items also, all kinds of yogurts, creams, all kinds of things. Then sweets made of wheat flour. We have all kinds of sweets. Then sarva doha means the products of the cow such as milk, yogurt, and all that all Vrajavasis possessed. So all milk products bring there. Then the brahmanas who are learned in Vedic mantras must properly invoke the sacrificial fires. So sacrificial fire, glorification of Govardhan, performed by the brahmanas. Then they should feed the priest very nicely and reward them with cows and other gifts. So Ramananda, tomorrow you're getting a cow and other gifts. Several cows and gifts. Then, this is important to remember tomorrow. After giving appropriate food to everyone else, the dogs should also they should give all food to even the animals, like dogs. We have cats here, so cats also must be fed tomorrow. And then after this, we should give cows nice grasses. Of course, they have already nice grass, but maybe, I don't know. And then we should offering to Govardhan Hill. And how to worship Govardhan Hill? Through sandalwood, maybe put on Govardhan sandalwood, and flowers. This is what Krishna says, flowers and sandalwood. Then, after all these things is done, and everybody is eaten to their satisfaction, this is the one thing in the Krishna consciousness movement, Prabhupada says many times, and Bhaktivinoda Thakur said, also our acharyas many times, one should eat to their satisfaction. So in the feast particularly, everybody should eat so well that after this, everybody should get up, dress very nicely, their best clothes, and they should go circumambulate Govardhan Hill. As I said, Govardhan Hill is 24 kilometers long. And at that time, all the cowherd men and cowherd women, they circumambulate the Govardhan Hill, not walking, but some walking, but women and children are sitting in the bullock carts. Carts are pulling them, and they were glorifying Krishna, and they were singing Hare Krishna. And this was the end of the Govardhan celebration. Said, so when everything was completed, Krishna assumed, this is the verse, assumed his great transcendental form and declared, I am Govardhan Hill. And he ate all the offerings. They had thousands and thousands of different offerings. And Krishna ate all of that. And they said with his long arms, even those who were offering in mind, he would reach there and he would eat their offering. And even from the long distance places. So Krishna would eat all of this. And therefore Krishna, after this, after eating all these nice foods, he would say two words. Aniyor, aniyor means give more, give more. And in Govardhan area, there's one village, and this village is called Aniyor. This is where Krishna was sitting and saying, I want more, I want more. So Krishna wanted more. So meaning that Krishna is he's not like, okay, Krishna ate, now he cannot eat anymore. Krishna is transcendental personality. And all our offerings and all our love we can offer to him. He can always take more. Aniyor. So this is it. And only for the end, I want to say that there are devotees who worship Govardhan Hill. They take a little stone from Govardhan Hill and they bring it to the west and they worship Govardhan Hill. They put their eyes, smiley face, crown, and devotees worship Govardhan Hill. We have how many Govardhan Hills here? Probably 5, 6. You have 3? We are having one. Vedasara. Kripa Sindhu. Munindragan. You also have Govardhan. So 2. So we have like 10, at least 10 Govardhan Hills. So this is not best for the bathing, for the Abhishek. We can squeeze them after. Anyway, so we have at least 10 Govardhan hills tomorrow, Govardhan stones tomorrow, so they will be all positioned in certain ways. Each Govardhan will try to get as much food as possible. And sometimes there's a saying that we need to give a special permission from the Brijbasis. Brijbasi means somebody who lives in Vrindavan to get to Govardhan Hill, to worship Govardhan Hill, special permission. So devotees go to different Babas or different local people. And here's what Srila Prabhupada says here. The identity of Krishna and Govardhan Hill is still honored. A great devotees take rocks from Govardhan Hill and worship them exactly as they worship the deity of Krishna in the temples. So Govardhan is worshipped exactly as they worship deity. Now this is the punchline. The followers of the Krishna consciousness movement may therefore collect small rocks or pebbles from Govardhan Hill and worship them at home, because this worship is as good as deity worship. So Prabhupada gave a permission, the followers of the Krishna consciousness movement may use the stone and worship them. So we have many devotees of Shilas, so many Govardhan Shilas. And the more devotees we have in ISKCON, the more the Govardhan will become smaller and smaller, because everybody talks the rocks from Govardhan. And it says that Govardhan was cursed to become, every day one mustard seed to become smaller and smaller. So at the end of Kali Yuga, or after some time, Govardhan will not exist anymore. So it started already. But anyways, Govardhan is all over the world. So this is the beginning of, everybody, the British Basis, they start worshipping Govardhan, and they did the parikram, and they offered nice offering, and everything is wonderful. So, and they went home. And this is the end of the story. But alas, this is not the end of the story. The real calamity starts tomorrow. Tomorrow, stay tuned and wait. The cliffhanger. What happened to this? The calamity, the turmoil. So this is like, apparently everything ended up peacefully, but it's not so. So I thank you very much for your attention. If you understood something, it's very nice. For the new people who are first time here, I hope you understood a little bit. I spoke for you a little bit in the beginning. So for everybody has to get something a little bit for beginners, for the old-timers. So if you would have any question or somewhat comments, yes. No, Ramananda Prabhu. Ramananda Prabhu, yes.
Yeah, I have a question, because today is Diwali, we celebrate Diwali, and I heard, but I'm not sure if it's true, but I heard that on the Diwali day, actually, there was the Damodar Leela happening.
Yes, I read this a few days ago.
Also, huh?
Yes. This thing with Mother Yashoda tying Lord Damodar, this is on Diwali. This is like today happened.
Special reason why? Did Mother Yashoda cook a feast for Diwali? With the milk?
It doesn't appear. Yes, actually, yes. This is the reason why the Leela happened, actually. The Damodar Leela happened because Mother Yashoda and the whole household was busy preparing for Diwali. And therefore, there was nobody to care for the milk. This is what Acharya is explaining. I think 3, 4, 5 days ago, I read this. And therefore, Mother Yashoda was holding child Krishna, and she was thinking, oh, where are my, the servants are there, nobody was there because everybody was busy. So therefore, Mother Yashoda had to put child Krishna and take care herself. She was also churning the butter herself because there was everybody was busy. But it's not too much details, but it was the reason.
But then some years later, around the same time, must have been the Govardhan Lila happened.
It must be 7 years later, or whatever, 5 years later. I don't know how old was Krishna at that time, but something like 5, 6 years later. Krishna was 7 years old when he lifted Govardhan.
But it was also Diwali day.
It was also, yes, day after. Yes, day after. So, yes.
Yeah, and kacha food should be deep fried in ghee, and this is considered to be cooked.
Yes.
The others is non-cooked. Raw food, even if it's cooked in water, it doesn't consider to be cooked.
And therefore in Ayurveda you don't see raw food. There's no, Prabhupada never ate salad. Never. They offered Prabhupada once this servant, Kumar, or whatever, I forgot his name. He offered Prabhupada because he was doing some raw food and fasting, and he asked Prabhupada juicing, to drink wheatgrass juice. Prabhupada said no. Prabhupada said, my whole life I was eating, well, I'm not going to now, at the end of my life, now I'm going to change to eat some wheatgrass now. And he asked his sister to cook bacon. What's the name? Bacon? Eggplant. Eggplant with chilies. He liked eggplant with chilies. Yeah. Potatoes and eggplant subject. Fried in mustard oil. Prabhupada liked it. It's very heavy. Anybody ate in mustard oil? Very heavy, yeah. Yeah, hard to digest. But Prabhupada, imagine, he was so sick. He says no. And also eggplant. Eggplant is also heavy. Potatoes, eggplant, and chili. There was this story that Prabhupada he was sick, and he asked his servant, Bhakti Charu Maharaj, at that time, to cook for him. And he said, what do you want? He said, I want potatoes. Fried potato, not deep fried, but shallow fried potatoes in lots of ghee. And he told him, and put this much chilies, like lots of chilies in it. So Maharaj cooked for Prabhupada. He was thinking, oh, Prabhupada is sick. How can he eat so much chilies? Because for him, so much chilies is like difficult for the body. So he cooked only in ghee. But Prabhupada tried, and he said, where are the chilies? And Bhakti Charu Maharaj, Prabhupada, you were sick and I couldn't. The Prabhupada said, no, the chilies are important because you cannot digest all this ghee unless there are chilies. So therefore, chilies are very important. This is the science of eating, Since the breakfast is coming very soon. Anything else? Okay, well, thank you very much for your attention. Srila Prabhupada ki Jaya, Shri Giriraj Govardhan ki Jaya.
Sacinandana ki Jaya. Normally boys sitting here.
Yeah, what happened? I think so one day we're sitting here, one day now the ladies.
The world is coming to an end.
Yeah. You have a gopi dress on tomorrow?
No, we should dress in our best clothes.
Tomorrow we have to dress up.